Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you all those who did like and subscribe my first video. I want to say thank you and I appreciate all of you guys. Today's video is going to be more of a story time. This is a story that happened to me maybe when I was 17, 18 years old at my second job, and it is the time where I caught my boss cheating on his wife with back page girls. If anyone doesn't know what a back page girl is a woman or women who sell their body for money. No disrespect to any woman or person who does that, you know, get your money, get your hustle, whatever you need to do, but everyone just be careful. You know, not every person is here to see you work, and it is what it is. When I was 17, I got hired to work at a cell phone store by a guy named, let's give him a name, Fernando. So it was all cool. I liked the job. When I initially started working there, I started working at the store where Fernando worked at. Our boss's name was, let's give him Benny. His name was Benny. He owned a couple stores and it was all cool. And then 2 weeks later, they moved me to another store where another guy that was also his right-hand man, his name was Pablo. It was cool. I liked the job. My senior year was good. I was making money on the side. I was able to save up money, buy my first car, do all this type of stuff I couldn't do at my previous job, which was selling pizza and not making any type of money. Whatever. I had a good time working there. I met some good people, some friends that I'm still friends with now, and it was all good until they hired one of Fernando's friends. Let's give him the name Juan. Juan was so mean to me. Like, he bossed me around. He treated me as if I was a child. Not only that, he treated other people like that. He always told on us if we didn't do anything he didn't like. We were always the one cleaning, and he always felt like since he was a man, he shouldn't have clean or do anything, and it was so annoying to the point where we had a confrontation and he did insult me. I did not feel comfortable working there anymore, and I told Pablo if he could transfer me to the other store where Fernando worked at. He said yes, and then after school I would take the bus to that place. I would be there, work my regular 4 to 8, and then at that time I obviously didn't have a car, so my mom would always pick me up, and my ex-boyfriend at that time. Well, one time after school, I would say it was like maybe early May, I got there from school and it was all cool, but around maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock, 2 women came in. Now, these women were beautiful, like they were dressed nicely, like skirt, crop top, whatever the case is. They came behind the stand and I was like, like, are these new employees? Like, who are these chicks? So the 2 girls came around the counter and they were looking at my boss, Benny, in a way. Now, Fernando was also present and I just stared, but you know, I don't want to stare too long because everyone doesn't do well with stares. So I just remember hearing Benny, Fernando cover the front and they go in the back. Now, when you walk into the store, you walk in, there's a waiting area, and then there's the phone stands, and then if you go around the counters. So after Benny said, hey Fernando, cover me, Benny did that. He went to the back and Fernando went to go cover him. So the girls were already waiting for him in the back. But before I forget, once the girls came around the counter, another girl came around the corner. Her name was Sarah. So Sarah was obviously the girl's pimp. You know, she was blonde, she was like, she had a nice body, but she dressed very ugly, like as if she came out of basketball practice. So I was like, oh, well, like you could tell right away like who she was to these girls. So she was like, oh, I brought you some good ones today. So she sat behind the counter and then I just looked at her a couple times and then I just went. I did bring some homework, so I was trying to keep myself busy, but she just kept looking at me and like trying to like look at me as if she wanted to recruit me, and I'm like, girl, please, I do not want to do that type of stuff. Like, don't look at me like that. So she left and Fernando sat in that area, and then I'm telling you, like, you could hear gurgling noises. It was just, I'm pretty sure you guys know what type of noises I'm talking about, but it was just noises and noises. And like, so Fernando put some music on and I was like, oh, finally, like some music like could probably cover the noises. Let me tell you what type of music he put some Pitbull. Dale. Like, don't nobody want to listen to Pitbull. Like, put some something else on, something that's really gonna draw the noise away. So after that, he put the music on. I was like more annoyed than I should have been, and maybe 15 minutes passed, and after the noises and the horrible music, they came out. Benny came out as if he was done washing his hands, and he came out in a good mood, and those girls came out giggling. But one of them actually came back in, and Benny was offering a phone. Now this was like no iPhone, no Samsung. This was more like a little touchscreen phone, kind of like a track phone or a burner. But whatever, he gave her the phone for free, you know, I'm guessing in exchange of the services she provided to him. None of my business. Other than that, another girl came inside the store, and her name was Cece. Cece was like, oh, you like my friends? Like, they're thick right now. Cece actually went to my school. Her name was not Cece, she went by a different name, but I remember her in like my dance class, and she was telling us that her baby daddy was 30 and she was like 18, and like all this stuff that we did not need to know on the first day of your school year or whatever. So I was like, wow, like I can see why your baby daddy's 30 now. So she was like saying like, oh, do you like my friend? And Benny responds like, no honey, I'm gay now. So I'm like, oh, classic. So I was so disgusted. It was like 5 o'clock. I still had 5 hours to go, and I was just like, I'm so over this. Like, I want to go home. I want to sleep it off. Mind you, my boyfriend also, at that time, my boyfriend also worked with us, but he worked at a different location. He did text me during that time and asked me how I was doing. I was like, you know, uncomfortable to even text him. I just felt like because he worked with them, what if he was like that too? Like, mind you, this is like my first actual real relationship I've been in, and like when you see these type of things, like you just kind of like wonder if like this person's gonna do the same thing. I also felt a little like, you know, disrespected in a way as an employee. Not only that, I just felt more uncomfortable because I met my boss's wife and I met his kids, and just knowing that he did this to her or did this to his family, it just made me feel a little bit more uncomfortable than I should be. And again, this was none of my business. Like, I have nothing to do with their marriage life. But I mean, if you're willing to do this, wouldn't you want to do this without your employees knowing that you do this? Especially when your employees know your wife and know you have a family, know your business basically. So he comes out, he looks at me, he just says, Antonia, like, how are you doing? Like, all in a happy mood. And I'm like, don't talk to me like that. Like, you just did the nasty. You want to talk to me like that? And then I could just hear Benny whispering to Fernando saying, oh, was I loud? And Fernando just says, yeah, Benny, you were really loud. I had to play music to draw the noises out and customers were coming in. Now, like, again, if you gotta go to the back and do all your business, like, you would want to do it where the walls aren't as thin, because customers were coming in and I was trying to draw the noise out by speaking a little louder than I should have, and the music. So that's when Sarah comes in, and Sarah was like, how was it? And I could just hear him say, oh, it was good, thank you. He's like, oh, well, I got more for you coming later. And I'm like, oh my god, like, I hope it's not when I'm working. So he's telling her like, oh, can you do these business for me? And I could just overhear them talking about something. Again, I didn't want to be too nosy and eavesdrop, so I didn't know exactly what they were talking about. So that same night, my ex-boyfriend at that time, or boyfriend at that time, he picked me up, and I was really quiet. On the way home, he was like, I'm guessing it was a long day. I went home, cried to my mom of what I saw. I felt so uncomfortable. And she's like, well, you shouldn't take it on your boyfriend, like, he didn't do anything to you. And I said, well, he hangs out with them, what if he is like them? She's like, well, you have to let him know how you feel. I did let him know. He said, I'm not like that, you know, like, whatever. The next day I went to work, and I did tell a coworker of mine who was a close friend at that time what had happened. And she said, yeah, like, she's witnessed it, but she never witnessed it to the point where she heard noises, and she just kind of knows how to stay quiet. I didn't feel comfortable, and I told Pablo I wanted to come back to the old location. It's okay, I'll deal with the other guy. I just don't want to be there anymore because I don't feel comfortable. He was like, okay. He moved me back, and I saw Benny a few days later. He was like, I'm mad at you. And I said, why? And he said, because you said that I make you feel uncomfortable. Benny, you do make me feel uncomfortable. So whatever, they told me not to keep changing stores. I'm like, no, don't worry, I will never like to work with you ever again. This was May. Fast forward maybe a month later, and tell me why we saw the same chick walk in the store with 3 other chicks to the back with Benny. Pablo saw on the camera, and he was like, I told them not to do that ever again. This is bad for the business. But I mean, it does look bad in the business when multiple women come to the back and you're doing all this type of stuff. Like, why would you do that? Later, fast forward to the summer, I had got transferred to another location in between both those locations. I was working by myself. It was a slow store. It was cool. Like, all the customers knew me. Like, I was doing pretty good working by myself, having no one bothering me. I was my own boss, understood Pablo's rule. Then I see that Sarah chick walk into the store, and then I hear Benny calling me, and Benny's like, hey, can you write a letter for Sarah saying she works for me and how much she gets paid here? I was like, okay, I guess. So I write this Sarah chick a letter saying Sarah works under my supervision, she gets paid this amount, and this and that, that and this. Tell me why this Sarah girl was like, how much do you get paid here? And I said, I threw out a wild number. He's like, well, she was like, well, you know, I can make that double in just a couple days. Sis, really? I don't want to work with you. I don't want to work in that type of stuff. Like, do you, I'm gonna do me. And I'm not that money hungry. Like, no. So after that, I didn't see her ever again. That's when, like, you know, the store is closed and I started working with other owners. Now, I've only told this situation to a couple of my friends from the old shop. You know, it was kind of a weird experience. I really hope he thinks about what he did. I mean, I don't doubt that this was the first time he's done it, and I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be the last time, but you know, like, hey, I just thought that this would be a good story time, and I hope you guys liked it, and hopefully you guys will be able to see more of these type of stories. Thank you again for watching. Go ahead and please like and subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me, honestly. Again, I always try to make something interesting, fun to watch for my viewers. And thank you. Bye.